Welcome to the InfoWars Nightly News. I'm David Knight. It's Monday, December 16th, 2013, and here are our top stories.
Tonight, constitutional sheriffs refuse gun control. Then, alleged Boston bomber Tamerlan believed he was a victim of mind control. And don't be fooled by mainstream NSA reports. That's next on the InfoWars Nightly News.
I get mad because my life has been stolen from me. You think it's fun to deal with a criminal government? You think I don't know?
Well, the Boston Globe has released a 5-month investigation, a 73-page report on the Tsarnaev family. Now, they bill it as an in-depth investigation, but really it's kind of more like a People magazine profile. Nothing about Uncle Ruslan's CIA connections. As a matter of fact, there was no mention of the CIA at all. And of course, Ruslan was the only sane member of the family, according to the reporter. Anything that questioned the official narrative was just dismissed without any explanation. The Boston bomber is believed, however, to be the victim of mind control. That's the only nugget that came out of this, and Paul Joseph Watson did an interesting story on this today. He said he believed in majestic mind control, which is a way of breaking down a person and creating an alternative personality with which they must coexist. Now, here's the key. You can give them a signal, a phrase, or a gesture, and bring out the alternate personality and make them do things. Tamerlan thought someone might have done that to him. Well, of course, this is something that we've seen all along. Now, it could be that he was just schizophrenic and hearing voices, but when he talks about people getting him to do things based on cue, that sounds an awful lot like what we learned from the Church Committee hearings back in the 1970s about the MK Ultra program. We also saw this discussed in detail by many shooters, Sirhan, one of those. Now, with all these other events surrounding the Boston bombing, which this reporter does not even cover, it's actually more incriminating than what Aaron Alexis wrote on his gun when he did the Navy Yard shooting, my ELF gun, remember that? Indicating, as he had told many other people, that he thought he was a victim of mind control. But all of these circumstances are not even addressed in this 73-page article. But look at how the media covers up the shooting that was just last Friday. In a story this weekend from Mikhail Thalen, he says the media works to keep mass shooters' profiles secret. He said the media can almost immediately be seen attempting to link deranged shooters with the political right. But as facts come in, the desire to connect shooters to their political ideologies quickly erodes as the same antidepressant-taking, left-wing occultist profile emerges. And he goes through many of these here. He talks about how in Arizona, the shooter, Jared Loughner, was actually engaged in occult rituals, how the Aurora Theater shooter, James Holmes, was linked to fringe elements of the Occupy movement, even though ABC News reported he was a Tea Party member. Then we see that Sandy Hook gunman Adam Lanza was also obsessed with playing video games and updating his online devil-worshipping page. And then finally, there's a shooter from last Friday. Now, he was described in the local paper as being an opinionated socialist, and then they went back and they took that word out. Now, the reason was they said that that was a comment that was made by his fellow students, although the whole point of the article was to examine the viewpoints of his fellow students. How did they see him? What did they see him doing? But of course, they also described him as being a committed Keynesian. So he could understand the meaning of Keynesianism, but he couldn't understand the meaning of socialism, according to the press. That's the way they spin the news. That's the way they twist it. Now, this article from Breitbart points out how it's not just the shooter personal profiles that they're manipulating, but actually the description of the event to suit their purposes. The armed school officer was actually a hero in the Colorado shooting. It says, have you heard about the heroic deputy sheriff who saved countless lives during the Arapahoe High School shooting? Probably not. And that's odd because there simply isn't much doubt about the value of his timely actions. Now, what happened is that the entire incident only lasted 80 seconds. But you don't learn until paragraph 18 why it only lasted 80 seconds. The rampage might have resulted in many more casualties had it not been for the quick response of a deputy sheriff who was working as a school resources officer at the school. Now, that's what they tell you in the CNN report, but they don't say that until paragraph 18. What they also tell you is that he was wearing a bandolier of shells across his chest, but he only got off 5 shots. And of course, one of those horribly struck an innocent student, Claire Davis. Her family has asked for prayer, so that name is Claire Davis. She's in critical condition. But again, the story is that a good man with a gun stopped a bad man with a gun. We see that over and over again.
Introducing Pro One. All of your filtration in one system, portable, on the go. No more do you have 2 or 3 filters to just reduce sodium fluoride. You have a system that cuts out the sodium fluoride and up to 95% of hydrofluorosilicic acid. Advanced manufacturing technology combines silver-impregnated white ceramic with new Aquamedics advanced media for removal of fluoride and other heavy metals, all in one filter element. It is the only one that does it, and out of the gates, we have it discounted at 10% off with promo code WATER. This is the only system that in one unit helps reduce or remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, ammonia, and chlorine, hydrofluorosilicic acid, the most common form of fluoride not covered by other fluoride filter brands, and sodium hexafluorosilicate. Get your Pro Pure with the new Pro One filter today at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 888-253-3139.